If the first game breaks, we'll get you know it up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, do the game, tap, this win it. First year game, we're here for the first May. Can everybody give them 6 minutes?
Rocky Top! You'll always be. Doesn't have to be perfect, ain't gonna be perfect. We go compete for 60 freaking minutes. All right, enjoy the opportunity, enjoy the environment, and then go play our butts off, play for one another, and have a hell of a lot of fun. Everybody got me?
Yes,
all right.
Let me just say one more thing. The standard at Tennessee is to be elite on defense. This is the home of Reggie White, Al Wilson, Eric Berry.
If you in this locker, you want to get y'all to say it with y'all heart.
A one, two, three. We don't give a damn about the whole state of Alabama. Whole state of Alabama. Whole state of Alabama. We don't give a damn about the whole state of Alabama. We're from Tennessee.
Who got my back? I got your back. Who got my back? I got your back. Who got my back? I got your back. We play for another. We fight for another. Every fight, every play, every round. Hey, Tennessee on 2. 1, 2. Tennessee. Ball, that team ready. Ball, that team ready. Ball, that team ready.
Make the decision. You're either a Vol or you're not, through thick and thin.
What is happening? It's Monday morning. It's Bama Hate Week. You're dialed in, tuned in right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. We're going to have a good time. Eric Cain's going to be in the house here in just a little bit. Hope you guys are fired up, man. I hope you guys are ready to go. This fan base, it never ceases to amaze me. All the ways that I love them. Sometimes, yeah, I hate them. Sometimes I hate our fan base. And now somebody can tag that. They can run to Twitter. They can run to social media. They can go to MySpace and tell Tom, Boogie Bentley said he hates the Tennessee fan base. Boys, we are 5-1. We are 5-1. We've got a very beatable Alabama football team coming to Neyland Stadium this weekend. We've got every opportunity in front of us. This football team has every opportunity, everything left to play for. What if I told you we were going to rewind time before the season and I would say, hey, we're going to be 5-1. Alabama's going to be coming to town. And, oh, by the way, their last 2 games, they lost to Vanderbilt and they limped their way to victory over South Carolina. You guys would say, Boogie, sign me up. I'll take it every single day of the week. But here we are. Man, I'm just going to get Cainer on here. I'm going to get Cainer on here because his post-game cast was comical. He started the same way I'm starting this. And he made a statement in that you never You never apologize for winning. Let's get Cainer on here and see if he can calm me down. Why am I off the rails? Because that's what I do. That's what I do on Monday mornings. I can't even find. Why is everything okay? Here it is.
You are Locked On Vols, your daily podcast on the Tennessee Volunteers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good morning, Cainer. Welcome to the Mud Show. Is there anything that you would like to apologize for over the weekend?
You just need to settle down, Boogie. All right, it's Monday morning. It's a new week. All right, you just need to calm down, settle down.
This is the 2 hours leading up to prep. Like, this is the 2 hours waiting to start the show. That's my problem. I have a problem.
No, it's funny. You're talking about my postcast, and I mean, I'm just it's fair to be frustrated with the offense, because anybody who's thinking like, oh, well, Tennessee's 5-1, everything's great, it's awesome. I mean, that's not completely accurate. But those thinking that season's over, Tennessee sucks, this, that, I mean, it's always somewhere in the middle, right? I mean, you are 5-1, you just beat Florida, and Florida's no juggernaut, but any Tennessee fan that's lived through this series knows that beating Florida is a monumental event because you just don't do it. You find ways to lose. You did that. You're 5-1. You're back at home. You're hosting an Alabama team that I'm sure we'll get into that's very all over the map. That is such a winnable football game. It's not even funny. Okay? And, when I went back and did the rewatch, I wrote a column about it, and, subscribers of VolQuest.com probably saw my board post about it. I am not saying the offense was good, and I'm not saying the offense is where it needs to be, because it is far from where it needs to be, but I was encouraged on the rewatch from watching the offense. The offense had 2 series against Arkansas. Tennessee did a lot of good offensively. It just continued to shoot itself in the foot. So is it where it needs to be? Heck no. Is it continue to have self-inflicting wounds? Yes. Are the tackles and the offensive line still not where they need to be? Absolutely. But I think these are correctable, and I think Tennessee can continue to get better and better. If you take another step next week that you did this past week on offense, who knows? Maybe you don't get shut out in the first half, right?
Man, you nailed it. Like, post-game show, you know how it is, like post-game, when especially it's even worse for you because you got so much going on with where you're at compared to me. At least I can sit here and actually watch the broadcast, take some notes, that type of thing. But even still, post-game, like, you're emotional, you are questioning yourself, you make a statement, and then people are like, what are you talking about? And it's like, maybe I was wrong. But post-game, I said I saw some things play calling wise, and encouraged is the perfect word. I said that encouraged me about this football team moving forward. And if you execute those things better, then I think this offense can really kind of get going, and just encouraged. And then on the rewatch, it was confirmation, man.
Yeah.
Like the fumble by Nico. You can't do that, right? You can't do that. But
ironically, I've been calling for him to keep some of those because as a defender, how in the world can you respect the option of Nico pulling that ball and running if he never does it? And so I was calling for it, and he did it, and he fumbled, and that was a bad turnover.
And like, but even him doing it, it's a bad turnover.
Yeah.
But he kept some later. He kept one in the third quarter that went for like 12.
A first down.
Yeah. And then in the fourth quarter, Dylan Sampson, I don't remember if it was a touchdown. Coach Jay, like, he had the screen capture the clip, posted it on Twitter, and he's talking about, Nico really selling the pull. And it's like, that sell means nothing if he's not kept those couple earlier in the game. Mm-hmm. The way they rolled the pocket, Hubbs called for it going into it. They must listen to the VolQuest podcast. Josh Heupel said it. Brent Hubbs says it. We got to do it. They rolled the pocket. I like that. They're setting Nico up for success, and that is encouraging. Let me catch a couple of these real quick. Coach Jay is in the chat. He's only been a member for 24 months because he got blocked. I mean, he's a co-host, but he got blocked from the channel. That's why nobody has a wrench anymore. Shout out Coach Jay. Says, early out here in SoCal. Knox will see you in 48 hours. Buck Fama, roll the tide and smoke them like Snoop Dogg. That's spoken like a true Californian. Yeah, Coach Jay is going to be in town for the game. You guys find him. You guys locate him down there in Knoxville this weekend. Jay Carter for 5 got that door fee for you. GBO got the power back on, was able to watch the highlights on the big screen this morning. Glad to hear that you're bouncing back, Jay Carter. He's in the chat watching us. The guy doesn't have power, doesn't have – like, that's a dedicated fan. We appreciate you, Jay Carter. Let's go back and let's talk about how big this win is over Florida and where Josh Heupel in this program is at. It's not been pretty. That's why I love playing the clip from Heupel. Ain't got to be perfect. It ain't going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. But Tennessee still sits here at 5-1. The SEC is a mess, like Texas and then everybody else.
Yeah.
And I think you just have to put it in perspective. And I've done this ever since, the game ended. We have beaten Florida 3 times in the last 20 years, and Josh Heupel's responsible for 2 of those. And I think like a common theme here should be we always find a way to screw it up, right? And it's like going into the game, all the media is talking about, oh, Florida's playing good ball right now. And I'm like, God, I've seen this movie before, and I know how it ends. Then you get into the game. It's a dogfight. They take the lead. Tennessee finally fights back, and then what do? They let them score late, and I'm going, Billy Napier's going for 2, and this is a loss, and here we go again. Beating Florida, beating a rival is important. I don't care what the scoreboard says. I don't care what the rankings say. Tennessee's 5-1, and everything is still right in front of them.
Yeah, I mean, how many years have you been the better football team and you found a way to lose? How many years has it been a dogfight and you lose on a Hail Mary, or you lose in the last minute or 30 seconds of the football game, or you lose something like that? I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is how Florida lost that game is how Tennessee's lost it so many times. And yeah, I mean, I understand Florida's not a great football team this year, but it's a team that's owned you. And if you want to reach your goals this season or keep them alive, you absolutely had to win that game, just like you're going to absolutely have to win this game coming up against Alabama. So, yeah, when you put things in perspective, I mean, prior to Saturday night, Tennessee had won 2 straight at Florida more recently than you had won 2 straight in Knoxville. That is mind-blowing. 90-92 season, the last time that's happened here in Knoxville. Just shocking. I mean, that should never, ever happen, but here we are. So, you get this win, and Tennessee was shut out in the first half, and Tennessee was down 10-0, and then you finally got something going there in the third quarter, and the offense came alive a little bit in the second half, and that was great. And, you just continued like I talked about on Arkansas, last week. It's like, hey, defense, go win this game. Hey, defense, go win this game. Hey, defense, go win this game. And sure, I hear you. You shouldn't allow Florida to score the last 30 seconds of the game. I got it. But, hey, last time I checked, they had 10 points with 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Like, that should be enough to win you a football game every single day, right? I mean, it's so frustrating. Goodness. I mean, this is not 1998 or 1990s. I know it doesn't feel like 98 right now. That should not be good enough to win you a football game. You should be scoring so much more. So, punt coverage team, and I know there was some blocking the backs and all that, but punt coverage team in the fourth quarter really let Tennessee's defense down. I mean, Florida had starting field position, at the 31 right there with a couple minutes left. Not
How much
great,
of that do you put on Ross? Because I felt like he line drive those kicks, which I mean that puts your coverage team in a bad position right out of jump. So, but
yeah,
regardless,
I'm with you. I thought for the great punts that he had earlier in the game, I think he had one that went 53. He had one that was pinned inside the 5, and Tennessee eventually got points out of that because of field position. Yeah, those last 2 punts were not great, and really kind of hung your defense out the drive. But anyway, you found a way to win the football game, and that's so important. That's so important because, again, your defense continues to ball out. I think you're taking steps offensively. I too, with the rollouts. I mean, that was one of my first notes, man. Nico was so much better rolling out, getting out of the pocket, and they started calling some more of those, which is good. I just think that in the passing game, I mean, Tennessee's outs, the out routes were open all game long. Working the sideline, 0 to 10 yards. And you would hit one of those, and then you would just try to take a shot. It's like, I mean, I'm all for taking a shot, but, hit him again. I mean, it's there, and they didn't go back to it. So, anyway, you got to win. That's important. Continue to improve, and this is a very winnable football game this weekend.
Let me catch back up with you guys in the chat. Rocky Top Time for 5 says, locked on, Talkin VAWLS, to hell with Alabama. They've been crying since 1901. Rip for 5, door fee, GBO, dropping those custom Talkin VAWLS emojis. We appreciate you, Rip. Michael Holt, also for 5, says, someone tell Coach Jay that smoking like Snoop Dogg will get him arrested in Tennessee, just in case I have bail money if he needs it. Yes, Coach Jay, let's remember where you're coming to. Things are different out here in Tennessee. All right. Let's keep this thing moving forward. Let's talk a little bit about this offense. You mentioned, some out routes are there. You mentioned that you were encouraged by the play calling. And it's I get it, man. And I'm emotional too. I just try not to take to Twitter. Sometimes I struggle with that. But it's like everybody wants somebody to blame, right? Whether that's the mods over at the general's quarters, it's your all's fault, or whether it's yelling at me or Coach Jay or Coach Rice or Dauber or somebody here on. Everybody wants somebody to blame. We need Alex Golish back. We need Hendon Hooker back. Joe Milton was better than Nico. The offensive line is. Everybody is looking for somebody to blame. And as simple and as dumb as it sounds, Josh Heupel keeps saying it takes all 11 guys. And in a quote after the Arkansas game, doing ordinary things at a high level. I like that quote, and it's so true, right? It's like Nico trying to keep any fumbles. That's one play, one moment. Butch Jones, 63 effort, 6 seconds. That's one moment of a play. He pulls that. He picks up a first down. We're not talking about it. Does Tennessee go on to score? That first drive was looking pretty good. I like
certainly looked like it.
Stacked wide receiver sets. Where's that been? It's back. I like that. Read option. Nico Keeban running a little bit to the outside. The jet sweep. So many things I like.
A little bit of motion.
That's one play. You got guys running free down the field. That's Nico has to connect them. But then I was listening to J.D. Piquel, and he said some of these wide receivers need to man up and play big boy football. Make a scholarship play like that. I love that quote. Make a scholarship play. You're a scholarship player. It hits you in the hands. I don't care if it's a bad throw or not. You got to go make a play. It's a game of inches. Defense, they stepped up and made plays at times. They didn't play perfectly, but they stepped up and made plays. So why are you encouraged about this offense? What did you see? What does Tennessee need to be better at?
Yeah, a lot of those things you just pointed out. I didn't see many wide receivers getting separation, getting behind the secondary in Fayetteville. Okay, I saw that several times against Florida. And yeah, I mean, you or JD, whoever said it, I'm a fan. I'm not trying to pick on him. I'm a fan. Chaz Nimrod had a bad day, man. Like the drop there on the last series of regulation, that was bad. But the one over the middle of the field where he was trying to get a flag. Again, I'm not a wide receivers coach and all that, but boy, that looked like a ball he could have caught. He could have caught that football, and who knows what would have happened. The throw down the near sideline. I don't know if this was supposed to be inside shoulder or outside shoulder. It was a walk-in touchdown. Regardless, the ball landed out of bounds. And so that's a bad throw by Nico. I mean, that was a miss, man. One down the far sideline to Chris Brazzell, who made the catch and got pushed out. Thought that was a heck of a ball as well. And the one to Squirrel, right up the seam there. I mean, Squirrel gave such great effort. And sure, you want to hit those guys in stride. And I'm not trying to sound like a if, ands, and all that type of stuff. I understand horseshoes and hand grenades, but boy, we're talking a matter of feet, sometimes inches. Like it is close. I mean,
and what's the conversation look like, right?
Yeah, like if one or two of those hit, I mean, boy, it's completely different. I know they didn't. I recognize that. Nico's got to hit those, or Chaz has got to catch that one over the middle of the field. But I was encouraged, man. It's like it's not that far off, because how many times? And there were some times we were talking about this with Joe Milton last year or in years past, and like it's not that far off, but. Boy, sometimes they were. They were very far off. It didn't feel like that the other day. So guys getting open, running routes and all that. I like from a still not super thrilled with the play calling, but I do think, as you pointed out, taking steps, rolling them out, doing some different things. They did more innovation in the offense, the jumbo set, the stacks, as you pointed out. I liked all that type of stuff. Josh Heupel going for it on fourth down at your own 10. I can't.
I like it. I said my coach is back. There's no way I do that. If I'm getting paid $9 million a year, I'm punting it every single time. I'm kicking the field goal when you're down 10 and he goes for it on fourth down. I'm kicking the field goal 10 times out of 10. But I felt like the coach was back.
Like I'm all for going for it on fourth down. I mean, I love the fact that he does that all the time, but there is absolutely nothing in this universe, no chart, no graph that would tell you to go for fourth down on your own 10-yard line. You got it, and that's great, and nobody's talking about it, but dear Lord, that was a horrible coaching decision. Because Boogie, what if he didn't get it?
Awful. I mean, we are railing him.
It's Monday morning, and we are absolutely torching him. You know what I'm saying? But you got it, so it's okay. And ultimately, like, you converted that fourth down, and then a couple of plays later, Nico throws a horrible pick. So it's like it's not like he even got points out of it. But nonetheless, there were things I was encouraged about, and I think that if you can, I like that pass pro. I thought pass pro was much better. There was one drive where 3 sacks absolutely derailed you, and that should never happen. There were 6 penalties in the football game, 4 on the offensive tackles, 3 on John Campbell. That's got to get cleaned up. But I thought the backs were better in pass pro. I mean, again, it wasn't a complete fix. It wasn't like, oh, they were horrible, now they're great. just saw some improvements. And again, if you can improve from one week to the next and continue to get there, you're not going to be a horrible football team and play more complimentary ball to your defense.
I loved Nico post game when somebody asked him about them going for it, and he was like, when was that again?
Did we get it?
And they were like, in the first half, and he's like, oh, did we get it? Like, he was so far gone from it. Maybe him and Coach Jay were doing some of that West Coast stuff in the locker room after the game because he had no idea what they were talking about. He's like, oh, I got bad short-term memory. It's like, oh, man. Yeah, but it's just funny because I don't – like, yes, there's no way I go for it there. I've been looking for that aggressive Josh Heupel for a couple of weeks now. So when they went for it, I was like, all right, this is a dude that he felt like his back was against the wall. And it's like that an ice hockey game, right? And it's like, man, we're struggling. We're not doing anything. So I'm going to go out here and get in a fist fight to fire my guys up. Or baseball, coach going out. I'm going to go argue a call that's really not that close of a call just because that lights a little fire under my guys. And that
going for it 4th and inches from the 6. All 4. Going for it 4th down from the 49, 48, all 4. Going for it 4th and 1 from your own 10, I will never be for. But hey, they got it. It is what it is. We don't have to make it a bigger deal than what it is. If they didn't get it, I think there's a difference in being aggressive and being, well, for lack of better words, stupid. And I thought that was a stupid decision. But he makes $9 million and they converted, so it's okay.
It's PS5 stuff. Tyler Adams for 5. Sloppy game, yes, but I think finishing with a touchdown instead of a field goal will build confidence going into the next week. Man, this offense needs some confidence right now. And I even saw somebody sending a tweet around of Nico's dad or one of Nico. I don't know if his dad said it. I didn't hear the audio. I just saw it said, family knows, and it was talking about, hey, stay confident, kid. Stay confident. And I've kind of questioned that. I wonder if he's lost some of that confidence. But I also wonder, too, like, there, of course, just like everybody compared Joe to Hendon, the poor guy was in an impossible situation. Then he's got Nico on the bench. Now everybody is comparing Nico to Joe, and Joe's not as bad as we thought. Nico sucks. Nico's worse than Joe. All these comparisons. Last year it felt like I kept saying cruise control all year. It felt like we're in cruise control, just trying to survive, get through this, survive, let Nico take over next year. And the offense was boring. It was dumbed down. It was not the same Hendon Hooker offense. Nico comes in. We see in the spring game, and I know spring game that really means absolutely nothing. But we see against Chattanooga, we see against NC State, and the inferior opponents. Oh, man, this playbook's wide open. Like, they're going to do all kinds of stuff. They're using the middle of the field. They're using the tight ends. They're using the running backs in the passing game. The playbook is wide open. Now what we're asking them to do is shrink it. Let's dumb things down. Do you think maybe they threw too much at Nico as a redshirt freshman, and now we're trying to dial it back down and simplify to make the game easier for him?
Maybe. Maybe a little bit. I mean, I thought that, we're always calling for, middle of the field passing, and there was a ton of that the other night where we're like, it's like, okay, well, hit the sideline, work the sideline work a little bit. I thought that was a little bit different from last football game. Maybe a little bit. Like you want to run plays that are comfortable. I mean, Coach Jay would say this. Everybody that's been in football, you want to have your quarterback comfortable. Like, that's why you often go to him on 4th and short or whatever on a must get down and say, hey, what do you like here? What's comfortable here? You always want their guy to be comfortable, but in the same sense, you also want to be, innovative. And I don't think that at times Tennessee was that at Oklahoma or a little bit at Arkansas. And so, the motion, the splits were still wide. They're always going to be wide, but at times they cut him down a little bit. Doing things to kind of help him out, rolling him out. I mean, he had several plays where he was rolling out, and I thought he looked so much better in that regard. So I just think it's more about tailoring what he likes to do and what he's best at and what he's comfortable doing. Not changing your offense, but just kind of tailoring it to him instead of just throwing everything out there and just going through a script.
We got 328 people watching this. Locked On Talkin VAWLS Monday morning. Boogie Bentley, Eric Cain of VolQuest.com and Locked On VAWLS. Do us one quick favor. Just smash that thumbs up below the video. Helps the channel. We would appreciate it. If you're watching this on a rewatch, if you don't have a comment or a question or whatever, just put a GBO in the chat, in the comments. It helps play the algorithm game of YouTube. Matt Mars has been a member for 24 months. We appreciate that support. Says running late this morning. Has anyone touched on the fact that there's been a live ball penalty called on an opposing SEC offense since before A&M? Has not been a live ball penalty called since before A&M last year. A lot of people talking about holding calls too. And I get it. Like, there's holding on every play. It's just when they call it and when they don't. But there's not a lot of calls going, on the other side of the thing. But I don't like talking officiating unless the officials control the outcome of the game. They miss calls both ways. Nothing has stood out to me. Has anything really stood out to you the last couple of weeks where it's like, oh man, Tennessee really got hosed? I've just not felt that this year.
Yeah, I mean, I had to go back a third and a fourth time to see the block in the back. I mean, there's something there on those punt returns, but like I didn't catch it in real time. I didn't catch it on my first rewatch. So if I don't catch it twice through, then it must not be that egregious, in my opinion. There's been holds. I mean, James Pierce has been held all year long, but like you said, I mean, what are you going to do? There's PI on almost every play. There's holding on almost every play. The reason Lance Hurd got called for holding, and I thought it was super tic-tac, but his hands were up. If your hands are up and out, as an official, that's an easy call. If you're right in here and you're holding on, I mean, hey, that's okay, baby. It's football. But you can't be up. You can't be up towards the shoulder pads. So nothing has been egregious. But I mean, if you do look at those trends, it's kind of like, well, what's going on? I do think that there's, with Tennessee's offense and Tennessee's tempo and Tennessee flirting with OPI every single time they run that screen out there, there are things officials are looking for when they come into the football game for Tennessee that maybe they're just so concentrated on the Vols and they're not as I don't want to say focused because they are, but they're not as concentrated on the other team. I don't know. But certainly that shouldn't be the case, that there's been no live ball penalties for that long. But, outside of some holding penalties on Tennessee defensive linemen, I can't think of anything that was just been egregious.
Let's kind of move ahead to Bama a little bit. It's Bama Hate Week. It's Buck Fama Week, all that good stuff. We're going to be giving away a free Buck Fama shirt on Wednesday night to one of the members of the channel. If you're offended by Buck Fama, we've also got a Beat Bama shirt. So I'll let you choose which one you want. But we'll be doing that Wednesday night, Talkin VAWLS Live, 7 o'clock. Make sure you tune in for that. But the SEC is wild, right? Like I was full against expanding the college football playoff to 12 teams. I was like, that's too many. I didn't think 4 was necessarily enough. I thought maybe 6 and give the top 2 teams a bye. But I was like, 12 is going to devalue the regular season of college football. It's going to be like college basketball.
Boogie.
They're only going to watch. And I'm like,
Boogie.
Oh, was I ever wrong? Like, I don't, it's hard to think of a time that SEC football has been more fun than it is. It's every week I am glued to the TV, not just for Tennessee, but for every team in the SEC. I mean, Ole Miss, they were crowned college football playoff contender. They've lost to Kentucky and LSU. Missouri gets blown out by A&M. Bama beats Georgia. Then Georgia barely beats Kentucky. Then Bama loses to Vanderbilt, which it makes me laugh. Like, again, perspective, right? Tennessee loses on the road to Arkansas. Some of our fans are ready to burn the program to the ground. Alabama loses to Vanderbilt, and they're still right up there. Like, JD's got his little college football playoff map that he tries to explain, and I'm like, what does this even mean? And it's the penthouse. Alabama's still up there in the penthouse. They lost to Vanderbilt. College football is as fun as it's ever been to watch right now.
And everybody's free. I mean, the reason there's been comments here, there was comments last night, there was comments on my show. Like, everybody's like, the nerve, bringing Tennessee down, right? Moving them down to number 11, but Alabama's still there at number 7. Like, all that stuff, I just don't care, because the AP literally means nothing. The college football playoff rankings are about to come out in a couple weeks. Those mean something. Absolutely. So, like, from a fan perspective, yeah, it's annoying because Alabama literally lost to Vanderbilt. And we can laugh about that Vanderbilt loss right now, but in a month, better get the business, because Vanderbilt's a pretty decent team that can beat some people right now. But we can laugh about it right now. But, like, you lose on the road to Vanderbilt, and then you barely beat South Carolina at home, yet Alabama stays put, and Tennessee finds a way to win, at home after going off and losing on the road a week ago. It doesn't make sense that Tennessee drops 3 spots. I get all that, but like, to me, I don't care about all that stuff. I just care about the college football playoff rankings that's going to come out here in a little bit. But it's different perspective. Like, the media that votes on the AP poll, like, it's Alabama, and Alabama's just, in your mind, you just think differently about Alabama, and you often think negatively about Tennessee, and I truly think that kind of affects the voters. And also, I think voters don't do their homework, and I think a lot of voters are lazy, and I think a lot of voters don't watch college football. That's why I don't want to be a voter, because I don't watch as much college football as I'd like to, because I covered Tennessee.
And I don't care what your job is, like, nobody can watch it's hard to keep up with the top 25 alone, right? Like, nobody can watch every single college football game and know what's going on. That's why national media, like, I respect those guys, because I cannot imagine trying to get in front of an audience and speak intelligently about so many different football programs. Shout out JD Piquel. Love JD Piquel. I know
Respect
somebody
the
in the
ones
chat.
that do the work. There's a lot that don't, but like JD,
Sure.
and then of course Cole sits there now. And
Dude,
again,
that dude is as good as anybody, man.
Cole obviously, has resources at his disposal, but like he sits there and watches an accelerated game and all this type of stuff. I mean, the dude is about ball, and like obviously he can speak it because he played it. There's a lot of people that get in front of a microphone and just talk, and I try, and you do as well in our industry, to not take advantage of our platform and just kind of spew some knowledge while we're out here, right? So anyway, continue.
I love Cole Cubel. I love something so simple of going to Twitter, and it's just like a little blurb of every SEC game. Yeah, he's really good at what he does. Alabama coming up, man. Can you imagine if Alabama lost to Vanderbilt? They should have lost to South Carolina. No ifs, ands, or buts. That game should have been a loss for Alabama. But you imagine they lose to Vanderbilt, South Carolina, then they got to come to Neyland Stadium. Like, Kalen DeBoer is going to be on the hot seat no matter what. Like, you never want to be the guy that follows the GOAT, right? Isn't that the quote? You don't want to be the guy that follows the GOAT. You want to be the guy that follows that guy.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to be all over him. They're going to eat him alive. But let's talk a little bit about Alabama. I say this all the time when our fan base gets so emotional over a game. Vegas doesn't. And the line opened at 2.5, I think. Alabama favored, now down to like 1.5. Need to go check the Grant Ramey special and see what's going on there. ESPN, FBI. This thing's a dang shootout. If you look at analytics, numbers, Vegas, all that type of stuff, what do you think about this Alabama team? And Tennessee's got an opportunity in front of them.
Yeah, shootout. I mean, can Tennessee's offense score some points? It's not going to be a shootout if you don't score points in the first half, right? So that needs to be better on Tennessee's regard. I look at Alabama, man. I mean, the best player on the field, hands down, Jalen Milroe. I mean, he can score from anywhere on the field. Of course, his wide receiver that's only 17 years old, and Ryan Williams, is a really, really good player. I mean, outside of those two dynamic players, I'm not saying that Alabama doesn't have good players, because they do. Florida had good players. But outside of those two players, I don't see a whole lot of dynamic in the offense. Defensively, it's a brand new secondary. You have Malachi Moore that threw a temper tantrum in the last couple of seconds at Vanderbilt a couple weeks ago. And for a 2-year team captain, I don't know the guy, but wow, that looked out of character. That looked bad, man. I would have, if I was DeBoer, I mean, you talk about a little pushover right there. I mean, I would have suspended him for a half or something. That was ridiculous. Anyway, veteran there, but a completely different secondary. They've changed their defense from a 3-4 to a 4-2-5 with Cain Womack. I think their offensive stats are a bit inflated because 600 yards of offense in the opener against Western Kentucky and 547 against Georgia, and albeit that counts. It's a team that scores some touchdowns. It's a team that turns the football over, or it's a team that takes the football away as well. But there's a lot of opportunity here. They have looked super mediocre in games against USF, and games against, obviously, Vanderbilt, and games against South Carolina. Very, very mediocre, allowing teams to hang in there. And I think Tennessee, playing in the home crowd, running the football, hopefully connecting on some of those deep balls, and with the defense playing the way that it's playing, absolutely this is a winnable football game. But hey, this is, and I'm sure you'll put a video out about it. I'll probably do my show tomorrow about it before I get in the mailbag. This is a play-in game. If you want to be in the college football playoffs, this is a must-win football game. You lose this game, you're done. Okay, you're done. You're not getting in the college football playoff. Why? Because I have no confidence that Tennessee can go on the road and beat Georgia based on where you were at Fayetteville and if you lose this game. Tennessee has a road problem, right? I'm not saying Tennessee, if Tennessee goes on the road and beats Georgia, then that opens up the conversation again. But the rate you're going, if you lose this game, I don't see that happening at all. So this is a must-win game for both teams. I mean, Alabama obviously lost to Vanderbilt, nearly lost to South Carolina. If you lose this one as well, I think they're out. So I think this is a huge, huge football game, knowing what's coming on the schedule for Tennessee and Alabama as well. A play-in game, a must-win football game.
Matt Mars with an epic comment there. That's hilarious. That is hilarious, Matt. Marcus Rush for 5 says Dorfy beat Bama in GBO. We appreciate you, Marcus. Good to see you in the chat as always. Man, it is so much. Man, it's fun to come on here and talk after win. Last week was terrible. The week before that was terrible. It's exciting, man. It's exciting. You're calling it a play-in game. It's must win. Last week was must win. And that's why, preseason, when we're trying to do predictions, I'm like, man, that Oklahoma game was so important. I didn't see the Arkansas game being the one that was so important. So now You got to win. You had to take care of Florida. You got to take care of Alabama. And the fact that they're rivalry games, man, it just raises the bar even more. Going to be an electric environment in Neyland Stadium. Kaner, it's always a good time talking ball on a Monday morning. What do you got going over at Locked On Vols and also VolQuest.com?
Yeah, recapping everything that was Tennessee and Florida, kind of dialing it back after the rewatch. That's on the show today. We're going to answer questions. Mailbag show coming up tomorrow. We got loads of stuff. Consistent conversation going on the general's quarters. All that and more is over at VolQuest.com. So no better time to hang out with us halfway through, Boogie, man. I mean, halfway through. Isn't it wild? I mean, literally blinked and you're halfway through. So take advantage of it. We live for this time of the year, and it's already halfway through. So take advantage of these next 6 weeks.
Careful, somebody's going to yell at you. There will be a comment. It ain't halfway over. College football playoff or bust. It's always a good time, brother. Go sub up Locked On Balls. Most of you guys here are already doing that. Kaner, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show, and we'll catch up on Friday over on Locked On Balls.
Sounds good, guys. Appreciate you.
All right, we keep this train a-rolling. I'm interested to hear what Josh Heupel said in the post-game press conference. All you regulars on the Monday morning Locked On Talkin Vols edition. No, we hang out with Kaner for about 30, 40 minutes, and then we listen to the post-game press conference, and I always save that. I don't listen to it. I may see some clips of it on Twitter or whatever. I may get an idea based off of maybe what somebody said in the general's quarters or on Twitter, and something that I've seen is that Josh Heupel's not very happy. He's not very happy about his offense, so I'm excited to get into it and see what he has to say. We got almost 400 people watching on this Monday morning. That's a good number. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Smash that thumbs up and go check out our merchandise. You can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin Vols. We got these VWO shirts because if you're talking Vols, you're talking Vols for life. But all kinds of different designs, whether you want to rep the brand with recruiting or you're a lurker in the chat, you hang out, you never comment, you never say anything, but you listen to the show all the time. That lurker shirt is for you. Cult of 8, Talkin Vols letter theme shirts. We've also got rivalry shirts. And if you want to be offensive, we've got FUGA and Buck Fama. But if that's too much, it's almost too much for me. You can just get a beat Bama or a beat Georgia or a beat Florida. We've also got a shirt to let Kentucky know that we're their daddy. Kentucky's daddy is a favorite. Go check it out. Bonfire.com/store/Talkin Vols. Link is in the description below. And also a quick shout out to all the members of the channel. If you've got a Power T beside your name in the chat, you're supporting what we do. I don't get to come on here and talk to Kaner without your support. Those memberships, so many of you guys keep that membership going throughout the entire season. Look, we focus on college football all day, every day, right here on Talkin Vols. Boogie, why don't you cover baseball? Boogie, why don't you cover basketball? Because that's not my passion. My passion is Tennessee football all day, every day. If you want basketball or baseball coverage, Kaner does a great job. Grant Ramey and Rob Lewis do a great job over at VolQuest. The guys at 247 Sports, Ben McKee, does a great job covering baseball over there. You can get that coverage from them. We're going to talk college football all day, every day. So when we're in the offseason, and it's just recruiting, things get tight around here to be able to do this full time. So those memberships are what get me through the offseason. So I'm grateful. I appreciate everybody that supports the channel in that way. You can hit the join button. It's just $1 a month, or there's a link pinned to the top of the chat. There's also a link in the description below. All right. We're going to go over here. We're going to take a listen to what Josh Heupel said immediately after the win over Florida. You guys know the deal. You want to interrupt. You want to distract the conversation and take it in a different direction. Drive a super chat. We'll read it, and you guys drive the show. If not, hey, man, we're going to listen to Josh Heupel and provide some commentary over this. I got this from VolQuest because for some reason the UT Sports, their website, you can't pause their videos anymore. You can't fast forward like they've got the Josh Heupel show over there. You can't fast forward through anything. You got to basically, it's like it's 1987 and I got to sit down and watch live TV on a box that I turn the knob like this. I don't want to do that. So we're going to get this from VolQuest.com. Fair use, right? I'm going to pause it. I'm going to provide commentary. So, but yeah, you can go check out all the post-game press conferences, the players, the coaches, all of it's at VolQuest.com or VolQuest YouTube channel. All right, let's take a listen.
Coach. And fans, awesome tonight. Huge part of the game. Appreciate them throughout the course of it. For us as a football team, love the win.
MG Way, I've seen a couple of people ask this, so I want to address it. And I meant to earlier, but when Kaner's on, we were going back and forth. It did not look good. I did not see any official update on Keenan Peely. I have heard that Josh Heupel said some things that makes it sound like he's going to be out for a while. So we will see. Don says knee sprain, probably. I think his career at Tennessee may be over. So I disagree. We'll see though. I have no idea. I know he was on crutches, leaving the stadium in street clothes. That's not a good sign. We'll see if Josh Heupel updates or not this week. I don't know, but it did not look good.
I think the resiliency of the group down 10, I don't know, 7 minutes left in the third quarter. Offense not playing good at all. Continuing to play, continuing to compete, and find a way to make some plays and get back in the football game, and then go into overtime and come back and reset and go finish the game the way that you're capable of and that you want to. So really proud of our guys defensively, elite performance, physicality, strain, most of the night assignment sound, made plays. James, I think it's James on the goal line, forcing a fumble. I mean, just so many things that they did at a really high level and kept us in the game. Offensively, there's so much that we can be a whole lot better in. And that's all 11 on the field. So, but continued to fight and made some plays. So, got to clean some things up. Man, everybody needs to enjoy this one. It's hard to win in this league. And, tomorrow we'll move on and get ready for another big one here at home. So open it up.
Jonathan Henderson, like I'm sitting here thinking the same thing as he's talking. I'm like, dang, he looked like some of y'all on Saturday night. Y'all see the clip of the kid dancing in Neyland Stadium? It's all over the place, gone viral. I think he's been all over the media and the news and all kinds of stuff. That kid's living his best life, man. That was me. That was me after the game. I'm celebrating. Like when Tennessee scored in overtime and the game's over, dude, I'm dancing. I'm celebrating. That's a dub. We just beat the Gators. Like, I get it. There's things to work on. There's things to clean up. That's a dub. And I think sometimes maybe our fan base needs some more of that. Being that kid in Neyland Stadium, you don't care that Nico made the wrong read. You don't care that wide receivers aren't getting separation. You don't care that Lance Hurd got called for holding. You don't care. None of that matters. All that matters is the team that you love and the team that you support and the team that you're there to see came out with a win. You don't care what Florida's ranked. You don't care who their quarterback is. You don't care that Graham Mertz got hurt. You don't care that Billy Napier's on the hot seat and it's the worst Florida team they've had in years. None of that matters. None of it matters. You're just living your best life celebrating. I saw a tweet of a kid taking his artwork to players. I saw tweets of parents, with their kids waiting outside the gate, meeting these guys that they idolize and look up to. Man, I can remember a time that I was in my backyard running around pretending to be Andy Kelly. I didn't care if Andy Kelly threw interceptions as long as the balls won. Like, sometimes we need more of that, man. Sometimes we need more of just being a fan, enjoying the wins. Don't take it for granted. I know I said some of this last night, said some of it, post-game. Don't take the wins for granted, man. It wasn't that long ago that we were struggling to get bowl eligible. Now, all of a sudden, beating the Gators 23-17 is not good enough. Something we've done 3 times in 20 years. We beat them 3 times in 20 years, and we're going to complain about the way we did it? We're going to complain about, the talent. We got more talent. We got better coach. We're going to complain? We're going to take this win for granted because it didn't look the way we wanted it to look? It didn't look the way we thought it would look? Nico didn't throw for 500 yards? Man, sometimes we just need to get back to being a fan and enjoying a win. Like, I can't fathom Tennessee gets in the end zone at the end of the game being mad. Oh, ridiculous. Took overtime to beat the Gators. Could have lost. We could have done what we've done 17 times in the last 20 years. You want to go back to that? You want to bring Cornbread back in here? You want to bring Butch Jones? You want to bring Lyle back? Gosh, man, sometimes, and I get it. I understand that with success, the expectations change. The expectation ain't to go 6-6 and make a bowl game. The expectation is college football playoff, SEC championship, national championship. I get it. I'm not settling, but sometimes we just need to be a fan and enjoy the wins. Keep it simple, stupid, right? Anybody that wants to fire Josh Heupel, I'm trying to be better about this. Kaner tells me all the time, you can't tell people how to fan. Anybody that wants Josh Heupel fired has no clue what they're watching. They have no clue what's on the TV in front of them. They have no idea. No idea. Either that or they just started watching college football last week. But at the same time, let's rewind time. Let's go back last year. Let's go back the year prior. Everybody wants to fire Tim Banks. Now, all of a sudden, I'm on here preaching and defending, saying, hey, man, this defense is getting better. You got to look what he took over. You're crazy, Boogie. You're an idiot. Tim Banks sucks. Fire Tim Banks. Now some of those same people are saying, man, it's going to be awful when Tim Banks takes a head coaching job. Well, that's weird because I got destroyed for saying that we were going to lose Tim Banks to a head coaching position because he's a good ball coach. You don't know what you're talking about. You're an idiot. And I get it. That's what I signed up for. When I sit in front of this camera and I turn on this microphone, I'm putting myself out there. So I'm going to get that feedback. I'm gonna start keeping receipts. I'm gonna start keeping receipts. And it ain't everybody. Sometimes somebody will roll back through the comments and say, Boogie, I was wrong. You were right. Guess what? Sometimes I'm wrong and you guys are right. I thought Nico was going to be way better than he is right now. But guess what? His story's not finished. His story is not finished. But Josh Heupel looks down in the dumps. Josh Heupel looks like some of us on Saturday night. He's got to get this offense figured out. Let's hear more. Let's see what the media hits him with. And just get prepared. I know. We're going to get hit with some ads because this video is 12 minutes.
Austin. Coach, just 2 weeks in a row where you hadn't scored a point in the first half. Why is that, or why do you think that is? And it seemed like y'all rolled Nico a little bit more in the second half, kind of moved the pocket a little bit. Do you feel like that kind of calmed him down a little bit?
You want to say Austin Price doesn't ask the hard-hitting questions? Y'all want to back – somebody has backed Austin Price into a corner. So he's like, I'm coming out firing on all cylinders every week. Just to come out point blank first question. Coach, you've not scored a point in the first half the last 2 weeks. Is there a reason for that? Can you answer that for me? AP bringing a heater.
Moved him on, early in the football game. Had a completion, on the sideline. Early in the football game, first drive, got things going. We're on the plus side, reading the edge, and ball ends up on the ground. There's another drive, maybe the third one, where we're on the plus side of the territory, holding call, get pushed back again. It's not doing anything, that's out of the ordinary. It's really all 11 operating as one, and we can play a lot better than we did tonight. With Nico, misses a couple deep balls during the course of the football game. Sometimes that's going to happen. We got to be better at protection inside the pocket for him. But I do love, the way that he continued to compete throughout the course of the game.
Jimmy, then Ben.
Josh, would you talk about the improvement you've seen out of Dylan Sampson since his freshman year to now?
He's always had great vision, great pace. Obviously he's got good long speed, but he's really good between the tackles. And I think, his growth of continuing to grow in the understanding of what we're doing, but, physical development, just his strength in the middle of the football field, and those runs between the tackles just continues to make a bunch of plays for us, finish the game out the right way, man. Huge.
Josh, you feel like the way Dylan performed tonight?
Dylan Sampson's going to end up breaking some records, man, before it's all said and done. Now, I'm looking to see rushing yards in a single season, 1,400. Let's see where Dylan Sampson's at. I mean, it's going to take a lot to break that record, but he's at 700 rushing yards halfway through. And the single season record is 1,464 by Travis Stevens. Rushing touchdowns, it's coming, boys. It's coming. He got 15 touchdowns halfway through the season. That is insanity. 15 rushing touchdowns, and we're halfway through this dang thing. And then you go look at rushing touchdowns in a career. He's not that far off. He's 9 touchdowns away. Gene McEver, he holds the record for both rushing touchdowns in a career, also rushing touchdowns in a single season. He's 9 away from taking the career lead in rushing touchdowns. Like, Dylan Sampson is going to leave here breaking some records. And, you know, the crazy thing is, if he wanted to, he could come back for another year, and he would set records that nobody's going to touch. Nobody. But I would say Dylan Sampson is likely off to the NFL after this game. But, man, like, just crazy, crazy numbers. Dylan Sampson's that dude, man. And you know, a lot of people last year were calling for him. You're like, let's see. I want to see Dylan Sampson. Let the cheetah eat. Jalen Wright was pretty dang good too, guys. Jalen Wright was pretty dang good running back too. But Dylan Sampson, man, he's going to leave Tennessee setting some records. He's made his mark as a Vol legend for sure.
Epitomizes kind of the leader that he is with how he led the way when things weren't going.
Yeah, I think his competitive maturity when it's not going good, to still have great body language, energy, feed that to his teammates. Understand that, man, it's the next play we got to get to, and having great beliefs. So, I thought those guys at halftime, the competitive makeup as a whole was good. We didn't come out and execute. We got really good field position to start it out, and just a little bit off, and so we got to go back and clean it up, coaches and players together.
Man, he is not in a good mood. SD Vol says, how do I add my Power T? Well, you can hit the join button. It's right there beside subscribe, below the video or beside the video, depending on how you're watching. There's also a link pinned at the top of the chat. You can click that, or there is a link in the description below the video. You click one of those 3 things, hit the join button. It's just $1 a month, or if you give a little bit more, you get different perks and benefits. We do a fan call-in show on Sunday nights. Great fan call-in show. Clearly you like, other than Gary. Gary got a problem. Gary complaining in the chat. Gary complaining in the comments. Gary's mad at me. Everybody but Gary seems to like the new format, man. We had over 500, but almost 600 people watching last night. That is a lot for a fan call-in show. We usually don't do those good of numbers on the fan call-in show. So if you join at the elite level, you get the link first for those fan call-in shows. You get to come on, ask a question, make a comment, talk a little volleyball with me, Coach Jay, Coach Rice, also on the tailgate show an hour before kickoff. So there are perks and benefits. And if you notice throughout the course of a stream, I try when I get a chance to highlight comments and put them up on the screen from members of the chat. That's another little perk or benefit. Even though I may not read that comment, I try to let it be seen on the screen. That's just another little quick benefit. Plus, we're giving away a free T-shirt every month throughout the course of the season to a member of the channel. It's going to be random. We're going to do it on Wednesday night. So tune in Wednesday, Talkin VAWLS Live, and we'll give away a free shirt. The Lazy Llamas for 10. We appreciate that $10 super chat. Says door/late fee. Says, Josh Heupel has to be frustrated. I think he knew he had something special on defense going into the season, and he wasn't expecting his offense to struggle like this. I think that's spot on. I think that is a spot on assessment, because I felt confident about this defense because I had so much confidence about the defensive line unit. Tim Banks, you don't sit in front of the media and say you've got the best defensive line in the country unless you think you got something special on the defensive line. I thought the linebackers were going to be better with Keenan Peely coming back, Arian Carter having another year under his belt. I thought they had the opportunity to be better. And I was excited about the secondary. I get the concern with the secondary because it was a question mark, right? Some people see all these guys transfer out. Well, we're in trouble. I saw the athleticism that came in, and I heard this coaching staff talk about the speed and the athleticism coming in, and that encouraged me. And then I sit here and I listen to Coach Jay break down Jermod McCoy's film, a guy that played a lot of football as a freshman at Oregon State. So I'm encouraged about him. Knowing that Ricky Gibson's got another year under his belt, I was encouraged about him. So I'm not really surprised about the secondary. I'm not. They play pretty good football. Have they played perfect? No, nobody has. So if we as fans thought this defense was going to be special, Josh Heupel knew what he had on defense. And I think he is frustrated, man. I think he's frustrated with his offense because I think he knows, as dumb as it sounds, it's like beating a dead horse. We sit here and say it. Nico doesn't fumble that pull at the beginning of the game. What does this game look like? Like if they score right there, And there's a good opportunity, man. The offense was clicking. That first drive, they were humming. They were playing. Josh Heupel is back. The aggressive coach is back. He goes for it on fourth down and 1 from his own 10, converts it. And then Nico makes the worst throw of his young career. What if you connect with Squirrel? What if you connect with Dante Thornton? Deep shots. It's such a game of inches. And I've said this multiple times, but when push came to shove, the defensive guys made plays Saturday night. James Pierce forcing the fumble. Ricky Gibson making the stop on 4th and 1. Like, this defense stepped up and made plays. We just need a couple of offensive guys to step up and make plays. That's why I love the quote from JD. And I may make a video on that, talk like with what JD said about this offense. I'm not done with this offense. I think they're going to get it figured out. I think they're going to get it fixed. I think they've got too much talent, way too much talent. Jay Carter says, Boogie, can you explain the top membership package? It's the watch party enthusiast tier. We don't really use it throughout the course of the season, mainly because I'm streaming 6 days a week. Like, I stream on Sunday night. I stream on Monday mornings, Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, Friday mornings, and twice on Saturday. So 6 days a week, twice on Saturday. So there's really not a night open that we can do it. It's called a watch party because, yeah, we cover Tennessee football all day, every day. But once we get into basketball season and once we get into baseball season, once a month, we do a watch party. And that's just like a fan call-in show. There are only a select few people that give at that tier. They get the link. So me, Coach Jay, X, Dauber, whoever will come on and watch a basketball game, baseball game. We'll have it on the TV, and we sit there. It's just a hangout. It's just a hangout. And some people hang out in the chat, and we talk just like this, but we'll watch the basketball game or the baseball game. And honestly, what started it, some people just said they wanted to give more. They said they love the channel. They love the content, the videos, the live streams, whatever. They said, Boogie, we want to give more. So it started, I just made a Boogie's Boss tier. I said, fine, if you want to give more, here's a $25 tier, and the perks are nothing. You get nothing from this tier. You get to be my boss. Congratulations. But then we came up with the idea for the watch party. So once we get out of football season, we will bring those back. We'll start watching some basketball, some baseball, having a good time. SD Vol, Charlie Kaufman, Chris Scott, all 3 become members of the channel. We appreciate you guys. Say it all the time, man. That's what keeps this channel rolling. We appreciate that support. Billy Todd for 2 says door fee, late to the party. GBO. Timothy's here. I always know what Timothy's super chat's going to say. He gives a $5 super chat. Says less option routes, more max protection, and quick passes. And when open, take the top off. I like that. Because when they max protect, it almost always feels like it's a deep shot. So it's like the protection's there. But then Arkansas was dropping 7 in coverage, and it's 3 on 7. That didn't work. It didn't work. Appreciate the super chat, Timothy. Later, Bow Hunting 101. Have a good day, brother. Appreciate you jumping in. All right, let's get back to Josh Heupel. Why do I always sweat on Monday? I think it's the coffee. It's the coffee, and I got the caffeine shakes. All right.
Eric, then Adam.
Look like on early downs, not every time, but on early downs, 3 backers on the field, and then kind of later, second, third, fourth, we go back to the base 4-2-5. What was the thought process? Getting more backers on the field in this game?
You talking about from us?
Yes.
Man, I'm gonna be honest with everything that was going on. I'm gonna let you talk to Tim about that.
You know what I love about that though? Like, Josh Heupel, they just asked, and I meant to bring this up and ask, get Coach Jay's opinion on it, and I completely skipped my mind, and I didn't even really catch it, but I saw him talking about it on VolQuest. There were a lot of, situations where Tennessee had 3 linebackers on the field, and I thought that was interesting. But then they asked Josh Heupel, and he's like, I have no idea. Josh Heupel was so focused on getting his offense fixed that he trusts his coaches. He's not like Jeremy Pruitt didn't trust his coaches. Jeremy Pruitt was a micromanager. Like, a head coach has to be a CEO, right? You got to be a CEO and let your guys go do what they do. I've said it on here a million times that I'm the upper basketball director at my church. The guy that I kind of learned from and taught me how to do what I do is, when you do your job right, your coaches are all doing their job. And once you set up the league and you get registration, you get evaluations, and you get the team set up, your coaches go do the work, and you sit back and watch. That's what a CEO does. And then when something goes wrong, then you got to handle it and you got to deal with it. So I like that, man. I like that he's like, I don't know, that's Tim Banks' thing. Ask Tim Banks. He's our defensive coordinator. He calls the shots. He had 3 linebackers out there because that's what he wanted to do. I like that. And I like the honesty from Josh Allen, him being able to chuckle about it. I got problems on offense, guys. Did you see our offense? Austin Price out here asking me why we've not scored in the first half the last 2 weeks. I got problems. I got to fix them. I ain't got time to worry about Tim Banks' defense that's dominating. I got to fix this offensive train wreck. I got bigger fish to fry. All right, let's hear more. I love it.
Josh, when you've got one side of the ball playing elite and the other side struggling, how do you manage that within the team? You had it the other way.
Which side was which?
Depends on the season. Right? You had it the other way around. How do you manage like the personalities, the team morale, the confidence?
I told you guys. Marketers. I had to tell you guys. This ain't my first rodeo. I'm committed to you guys to never, ever put mid-roll ads on my 10-minute videos. You know why YouTube wants you to make 10-minute videos? Because that's where they put ads in. Anything less than 10 minutes, you can't put an ad in the middle. So they're like, please make us 10-minute videos so we can put – no, you're not putting ads in the middle of my videos, dang it.
And as a football team, you're just trying to find a way to be +1 on the scoreboard. And if you can find a way to be a lot more than that, that's awesome. At no point since I've been here has it been anything other than all of us together, man. And, I just like our defense, their competitive makeup, but also their belief in, the other side of the football that they're going to go make a play. It's what a team's about. And, we haven't been perfect. We can be a lot better. That's a positive, though, that we got an opportunity to get better.
Rob, then David.
Coach, when you have either side of the ball, a unit playing like the defense is, with the turnovers at Oklahoma coming up like they did tonight, can you just see the confidence snowballing and growing, like they feel like they're going to go out there and take care of business?
They're confident, yeah. I don't ever feel like they just think it's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like they understand that they got to go make it happen. And
that is the difference between confidence and cockiness. Like they're confident, but they know they got to go out there and make things happen. That's confidence. Cockiness is, well, I'm good. I don't have to do anything. I just got to walk out here. Just got to trot out here and it's going to happen. I like some of the stuff I'm hearing.
They trust one another. There's some things that we got to clean up, but they trust one another, compete really hard, and continue to play better, smarter football.
Josh, after Florida missed their kick in overtime, what goes into the decision making on do you want to go ahead and punch it in for 6, or do you want to center the ball in the middle of the field and kick a shot?
I don't want to center it right away. Depending on the down and distance and where you're at, that becomes a thought. A little bit later as it goes on. I think running the football and being sound in it, for me, that's the way I wanted to go. And obviously, as we got close to the goal line, gives you an opportunity to step into it.
Patrick, then Austin.
Josh, have you ever, and not in a non-late game scenario, gone for it on 4th and down at your own 10 and talk about that decision and also the package you guys brought in with Nathan and Jackson and the short yardage and game on it?
Yeah, brought some defense guys in. Go set an edge right there. Just the flow of the game, everything that had transpired, the distance. Yeah, I talked with Tim too. So, just felt like had to do something to, try to keep them off the field, but get something going too.
I love the conversation with Cain, because I get it. Like we had in that conversation, I'm never going for it there, ever in a million years. But I also don't get paid $9 million to coach. But I love that he said he talked to Tim Banks, and I wish I could have heard that conversation. We're on our own 10. We're doing absolutely nothing on offense. You okay with us going for it here and y'all having to get another stop, like another stop in the red zone? You care if we put you in that situation again? Like, how does that conversation go? And does Tim Banks just say, I got you. I got you. Man, there's no way I go for it. But at the same time, I get it. Josh Heupel is looking for something to give his guys some confidence. Hey, I believe in you. And it's like Nico said, after he figured out what the heck the media was talking about. Did we get it? What are you talking about? Where was I? I was here. I was there. Once he realized, and it's like, it's a yard. We should be able to get a yard every single time. We should be able to line up and go gain 1 yard. If not, then we're not who we thought we were. And it was that type of moment for Josh Heupel. And maybe, man, maybe when it's all said and done and this football season's over, if this team goes on to do special things, if this team goes on to figure it out on offense and they start clicking on offense and this defense continues to play dominant SEC defense, maybe we look back and we go, man, do you remember in the 2024 season when this offense hadn't scored back-to-back weeks in the first half, we thought we were going to be something special, and this offense was absolute garbage. And Josh Heupel decided to go for it on 4th and 1 from his own 10. And then we saw a little spark, and they got going, and then they started to put some steam on Florida, and they won that game. And it took overtime, but they won. They got it done. And then they went on to beat Alabama, and then they went on and beat Georgia on the road, and then they made it to the college football playoff, and we won a national championship. Do you remember that defining moment where Josh Heupel said, hold my beer, screw this, we're going to go make a statement, we're going to convert a 4th and 1 against the Gators on our own freaking 10-yard line? And at the moment, you're going, what a stupid play call. What a stupid decision. But when push comes to shove and it's all over, you look back and it's like, that was the moment. That was the moment that this team found their confidence. I'll say confidence. They found their confidence. And that's when things turned around. You can't write a better story, Tom. You can't write a better story. If college football's fake, let me write it. Let me book the territory. Let me book this thing. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Josh, can you talk about Big O's performance tonight? It seemed like he was super involved in everywhere.
Some huge negative plays, in the football game, defeating blocks interiorly, tackling back behind line of scrimmage. You can look at the overtime and how that sequence played out from our defense. It's elite, man. And he played extremely well. He's playing his best football, since we've been here.
Jimmy, then Chris.
MG Way, I know you look for every opportunity to throw Nico under the bus, and I'm well aware that he threw an interception 2 plays later, but it's about the confidence in your football team. It's about the confidence in your football team to say, I got you guys. I trust you guys. All y'all having fun in the chat, getting fired up, saying that's what I'm talking about. MG Way got to throw Nico under the bus again. Oh, Nico sucks. Throw him under the bus. Sell me all of your Nico stock. I'll buy it up.
You feel like you're getting close to where you want to be in the passing game?
Man, not tonight. I don't think we're far off. You know what I mean? But it's not just the pass game. It's the run game too. Like, missed assignments, fundamentals, technique. Like, it's guys open, we don't hit it. Guys open, we're getting pressure. It's everybody taking their turn. And at some point we got to say, we're going to man up and do our job and make this thing go the way that it's capable of.
Chris.
Josh, when you got a defense that's consistently holding teams under 20 points, how does that impact you guys? Play caller, opposite side of the ball.
Yeah, I think situationally it does. Did tonight some of the third downs what we were willing to do. For us offensively, some of the things that happen on the plus side of the 50 and just killed us from having opportunities to go score points. It hurt us in the way the game was played. But, you know, it's different than it probably has been since I've been here, you know.
3 more, Paige, Ben, and Mike.
Nico took a few more sacks again tonight. How would you like him to see him evolve when it comes to recognizing that pressure or just in that situational type of football?
Yeah, some of it's us blocking it. That's 5 guys. It's your tight ends. It's your running backs. Some of it, it's him finding the soft spot in the pocket. Some of it's recognizing what's going on the back end and hitting your hots. Some of it's our wide receivers winning. It takes all 11 to go play good football, and everybody's got to do their job.
Randall Perry drops a 20 spot. That's an Orange Boy. We appreciate that. Very generous super chat. Let me play the clip.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Randall says, I believe this team is going to flip a switch and dominate. I don't know when, but I just feel it. We got to taste Saturday when they answered Florida's touchdown with one of their own after being shut down. Man, this is kind of how I feel too, Randall. Like, I really do. I really do. Like, I was encouraged. That was a great word by Cainer earlier. I was encouraged by some of the things that I saw. And even what Heupel's saying, it's so cliche and so dumb, but if you can't see it, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you think that it's just Nico, it's not. If you think that it's just the offensive line, it's not. It's the wide receivers, all 11. It takes all 11 guys doing ordinary things at a high level. Keep it simple, stupid. It's so basic. It's so dumb. But I'm telling you guys, you connect on 1, 2 of those deep balls that were there. Nico doesn't fumble the exchange, and I get it. That stuff happened, and I'm playing ifs, ands, and buts. But it's a game of inches. And a few of those plays, we're talking about inches from people that are selling their Nico stock, coming on here and saying, Nico for Heisman. He's back. That's it. He's a killer. He's a gunslinger. Accuracy, ball placement. Like, we're talking about a 60-yard shot downfield being inches off the fingertips, and somebody saying, Nico sucks. He ain't got it. To, man, Nico's a freaking Heisman Trophy contender. Nico's got it. And it's like the way this stream is playing out, some of the things you guys are saying, what I just heard Josh Heupel say, and what J.D. Pickell said yesterday, I'm going to make a video on it later today, and I'm going to go into it. Somebody's got to step up and make scholarship plays. I love that quote from J.D. Pickell, and I'm going to play it, clip it, and I'm going to make a video on it later. But, Randall, I think you're right. I think we're close. I'm encouraged, man. I'm encouraged. And I know a lot of people are mad. A lot of people upset. A lot of people think play calling's trash and Heupel's lost it. And I was questioning some things too. After Arkansas, I said, I want to see something different against the Gators. And maybe it's as dumb as simplifying things for Nico. Maybe that's what opens it up. Maybe they threw too much at him. I don't know. We'll see what happens on Saturday. I'll tell you what, I thought beating the Gators would solve some things. I thought it would fix some battered ball syndrome. It didn't. I think it made it worse. Beat them freaking 3 times in 20 years. Didn't beat them by enough. Until they beat the Gators by 20. I'm out. I don't understand that mindset. I don't get it. I'll never get it. I'll never understand it.
What have you seen from James Pierce elevating his game the last 2 games? And do you have an update on Peely?
Don't have an update on Peely. We'll know more tomorrow. Not sure there's a better representative of what a volunteer is than.
But hold on a second, Tom. If Florida lost the game, then who won? Who won? I'll wait. I mean, the last time I checked, that fumble on the goal line was James Pierce making a play. That was a dude making a play. The 4th and 1, stopped by Ricky Gibson. That's Ricky Gibson making a play. Florida didn't give Ricky Gibson anything. Florida didn't give that to Ricky Gibson. They didn't give that to James Pierce. But the last time I checked, if Florida lost the game, then I'm pretty sure Tennessee won. That is the definition of moving the goalpost. That, like, oh man, I got railed after the Arkansas game. There you go, Boogie. Now you're moving the goalpost. I ain't moving nothing. Tennessee laid an egg against Arkansas. I ain't moving no goalpost. But then you go beat a team that you beat twice in the previous 19 years. Not good enough. Is it not good enough? Let's go back to losing. How about that? Let's go back to losing to Florida every year. Let's go back to losing to Alabama every year. And let's just live in misery so we can't have these arguments. Well, technically, we didn't beat them. You know, they beat themselves. Cool, let's put a big old fat asterisk on it. Like, it's going to go down in the history books, and it's not going to say Tennessee won. It's going to say Florida gave it to them. 30 years from now, is this what we're going to talk about? 30 years from now, we're going to be like, well, they didn't really beat them. No. Nope. Gosh, why do we want to devalue? Why do we want to devalue this? I mean, Josh Heupel just said it. I didn't come here to hang 20, win by 20, just win by 1. That's it. That's the goal every single week. Go win by 1. That's it. That's all that matters. It don't matter if you win by 1 or 500. It doesn't matter. This ain't EA Sports College Football 25. This ain't Coach Rice going forward on 4th and 37 from his own 12. Oh, man, Tom. Drew Truesdale drops a $20 super chat. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Appreciate that, Drew. That's a very generous super chat. He says, I'd rather win ugly than lose pretty any day. I think that's what drives me nuts. That's why I have to yell at Tom at 10:17 on a Monday morning after a win. After a win, some of our fans are acting the same way they did after the Arkansas loss. They're acting the exact same way. Freaking punch it in the end zone. I'm doing backflips off this computer desk, about killed myself, celebrating, fist pumping. And Tom's throwing things. Freaking, we didn't win by 20. Wasn't good enough. I'm jumping up. We won! Tom jumps up and goes, they lost! Papa J jumping in on the hate fest. I'm with you, Tom. I'm with you, bro. Screw winning. They lost. We didn't win. Oh, I love you guys, and I love Monday mornings. I think Monday mornings hit different. Oh, God, Brad, don't say that. Brad, don't say that. Don't say that, Brad. Tom's going to blow a gasket now. Forget talking about football. You get Tom going on politics, it's going to be a long morning. I may have to stop the stream. Randall Perry for another 20. Y'all bring in the Orange Boys on this Monday. Y'all give me that energy I need to make it through the day. Let's keep the Orange Boys coming, because I got to go to the old house and clean out the garage and do a bunch of garbage that I don't want to do. Let's keep the Orange Boys coming, and then I'll just tell Mrs. Boogie I couldn't stop streaming. They kept throwing money at me. Would you rather me turn down money and come clean this stupid garage? Or do you want me to stay with the fans, with the family, with the community? I'll play the clip.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Randall for another 20. Says, I don't understand some of these ball fans. How many times has a superior Tennessee team lost to an inferior Florida team? Teams in years past would have folded when they got down by 10. This team didn't. They responded. And not only that, Tom, like not only did they were down 10 in the third quarter and bounced back, they gave the lead back up and they still kept fighting. Like, I'm so glad Billy Napier didn't go for 2. Battered Vol syndrome hit me. I was looking like Tom. I'm like, oh, they go for 2. We're going to lose. Man, this team, they have no quit in them. They have confidence. They fight. They play for each other. I don't want to go clean the garage MG way. I don't want to go do that. Got so much crap in there. Much rather stay here and yell at Tom. Oh, man. Papa J and Rocky Top Tom trying to start VWO Wolfpack. We'll make new shirts for you guys. It's going to be VWO Gator Pack. Y'all gonna have Florida colors. Oh my gosh, he didn't quit, Papa J. He didn't quit. He made a horrible mental mistake the same way that Joe did. Stupidity. There's no excuse for it. None. He didn't quit. Definitely did not quit. Big difference. Huge difference in quitting on your team and making a stupid mental mistake. Kevin's in the chat. You better be careful. Every time you pop in this chat, you get put to work. He's wanting to start the Negaval order. Papa J, you're crazy. You're crazy. I know you're full of piss and vinegar and being negative as it is this season. Nico did not quit on the last play of the game. That is ridiculous. Ridiculous. You can keep typing the same thing, Papa. That's actually pissing me off, Papa J. That's actually pissing me off. He did not quit on his team because he made a stupid mental mistake. That is not quitting on your team. That there are two, man. I don't know why that's firing me up so much. I love you, Papa J. You're crazy. That is not quitting on your team. That is not quitting on your team. That's the type of stuff, man. That's crazy. Crazy talk. Crazy talk. Huge difference in quitting and making now. I'm not defending the mistake. I will yell about it the same way I yelled about Joe doing it. There's no excuse. It's stupid. It was a mental mistake. You cannot do that. You can't do it. You cannot do it. But that's not quitting on your team. That's not quitting on your team. That's insanity. Insanity.
Keenan Peely. And you talk about a selfless guy that cares about the people around him way more than he cares about himself. That's an elite competitor, great leader, tough as nails, athletic, explosive, everything that you want. Just he's a dude, man, special dude. And your first question was? James, man.
All that right there from Heupel is why I think Keenan Peely's done for the year. Like, he talked about him like it's senior day, and he knows that Keenan Peely's never going to play again. Like that's why I think Keenan Peely's done for the year. And they may not have known at that time, but at the same time, they have an idea, right? They have an idea. But that's what I was talking about earlier when I said it sounds like he's done. I just don't see it. And gosh, you hate it for Keenan Peely. You hate it. Like a good dude, a guy that came back to give his all for Tennessee, got robbed of his season last year. Hate it for him, man. Hate it for him.
Violent, destructive, making plays. Huge play on the goal line. Locked in, focused. As a competitor throughout the course of it, no matter what was going on, just really, really strong performance.
Josh, you referenced that package, bringing a couple defensive linemen tonight. Why was that something you were able to utilize well tonight? And what makes those two specifically maybe strong in that situation?
Just defensive structure that we saw from them on field is why we went to that this week, and just they're two big, thick, explosive, long guys. You know what I mean? Like, they got the ability to move people. So hopefully I said that the right way. I saw a couple of faces down there. So
right.
Man, oh man, nothing hits like a Monday morning when I am. Look, y'all have me so mad I'm moving my camera around. Like, I start hitting this desk and get mad. Like, I'm acting like it's Papa J, and I'm just punching my desk because he's making me mad. I got to yell at Tom this morning. I got to yell at Papa J this morning. I got to hang out with Kaner. I got to hang out with you guys. I love this channel, man. I love YouTube. I love the community. I love the banter. I love the back and forth and keeping it respectful, but disagreeing and arguing and bickering. I love that I get to wake up and do this every day, man. I really love this community, and I love what we built, and it's all been organic and authentic. And like, it started off as just a bunch of dudes getting on and talking ball football after a game, recording it and uploading it to YouTube. And then JP's like, man, we got to figure out how to go live. And I'm like, I know. I'm like, I watch all these YouTube live streams and I'm not smart enough to do it. And you got me and JP, two complete idiots, trying to figure out how to live stream. So we get it figured out. It's like, well, we'll just do post-game shows. And then it's like, it goes from post-game shows to let's add a midweek show. And then you guys start supporting the community. I'm like, how can we give something back? And it's like, oh, we'll do a fan call-in show. We'll give them the voice. And so like every show is different. Sunday, fan call-in show. It's different than anything else we do. Monday, it's getting Cainer to come on every Monday and then watching the press conference and bouncing back and forth with you guys, bickering. And I go on these rants and rampages and have fun, man. And then Wednesday, Talkin VAWLS live, and Friday with Coach Jay, similar to Monday, but a different vibe. He brings a different dynamic to the show. Like every live stream is different. And I love it. I'm here for this. I love YouTube. This is what I want to do. That's why I've done it for almost 10 years now. And I'm blessed that I get to do it for a living, man. Like I am truly a dude that gets to live his dream and wake up in it every single day and do what I love every single day. And I'm grateful, man. I am grateful. Matt Morris for 5 says, before you go, I just wanted to say I don't give a damn about the whole state of Alabama. I don't think any of us do, Matt. We're going to break down that Alabama game in a little bit more detail on Wednesday night. Talkin VAWLS live, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to be giving away a Buck Bama shirt. If you don't want to be offensive, I get it. We'll give away a Beat Bama shirt to one of the members in the chat. So tune in Wednesday. Tune in tomorrow, Tuesday night, EA Sports College Football 25. It's always a good time, laid back, fun stream. DJ Boogie will be in the house. But that is going to do it for this one. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Got a video coming later today. Going to go record that real quick. Try to see if I can get out of cleaning that stupid garage. But video coming later today. Smash a thumbs up on the way out the door. Do all that YouTube stuff. Easy for me to say. Johnny VAWLS for 2. Can any member do the fan call-in show? Well, we start with Talkin VAWLS Elite. And then if we have enough time, we go on down the line. Last night got a little extended because X wanted to come on. And so it got long-winded. We were long-winded at the beginning because X wanted to give his opinion. Coach Rice gave his opinion. So we didn't even get the audience on until, it was 20, 30 minutes into the thing. We start with Talkin VAWLS Elite. We try to come down to Talkin VAWLS Faithful and then go from there. So there's the only guarantee is Talkin VAWLS Elite. That's always guaranteed. We try to get as many people on as we can. But that is going to do it. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for the love and support. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
That we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive.